author of this particular bill.
The gentleman from Ohio is recognized for as much time as he wishes to use.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank Chairman Royce for his leadership on this important issue, and I also want to thank my friend and colleague, Mr. Engel, and Ms. McCollum for their leadership and their support as well. Mr. Speaker, it's no secret that we're living in challenging times. The international community is having to confront new evils, it seems like every day. It's critical that we confront these evils with determination, resolve, and intelligence. This bill, the one before us today, really actually does this. With this bill, Congress has the opportunity to address an injustice that is holding girls back from fully participating in society, but worse, exposing them to the particularly horrific evils of human trafficking. There are 230 million children around the globe under the age of 5 who have never been recognized as being born. Their births were simply never recorded. In Eastern and Southern Africa, for example, only 38% of children are registered by their 5th birthday. So think of that, nearly 2/3 of the children born in those regions in Africa are not registered. There's no recording of their birth. They, in essence, don't exist to the government. These children, a majority of whom are girls, become invisible members of society and miss a critical first step in securing their fundamental human rights. Being recognized by your government is necessary, for example, for determining identity and citizenship and age and obtaining access to education and health care and many other things. When a girl is not counted at birth, it's difficult, if not impossible, for her to own land or start her own business or vote, and she's at risk of being confined to home and oftentimes left unpaid. Lack of a birth certificate keeps girls from fully participating in society. It increases the risk of child marriage, forced labor, recruitment into militant groups, human trafficking, and sexual exploitation. The Girls Count Act would help put an end to these horrors. The bill directs the Department of State and USAID to work with our international partners to support the issuance of birth certificates in developing countries. The bill will ensure that the most important step in a new citizen's life, the registration and recognition of their very birth by their government, actually occurs. Mr. Speaker, the lack of a birth certificate denies children their fundamental human rights that we as Americans oftentimes take for granted. This bill would make it U.S. policy to encourage the registration of all children worldwide and make sure that girls do truly count. With that, I urge my colleagues to support this legislation. I want to once again thank Mr. Royce and Mr. Engel for their support and leadership in this, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman.